the best tools that you can have for both sculpting, mold making, and silicone work. And in general, what are the most versatile tools in this industry? So, as you can see, even in this set, there are so many different tools. Do I use them all? Absolutely not. But you gotta remember, these are my personal opinions, and every single person has their own tools that they really like to use. So these could be completely different for other people, but this is what I like to use the most. First of all, there are many different types of tools out in the market. So there are tools that have a metal end, and then there are tools with a silicone end, and also wooden tools. This tool is excellent for sculpting finer details, but still in areas where you like to push something down. That's why I like this little triangle end here, because you can simultaneously push it down, but then you can carve the edges a little bit at the same time. This is excellent where you're establishing the first shape of the object. You can carve larger areas with this and remove a little bit more material at once. Tools such as these are so good when you're trying to smooth something out. This, for example, when you're making a two-part mold and you're building walls with clay, you want to smoothen the surface as nicely as possible. So when you have a tool like this with a completely smooth surface, you can smoothen the whole area so nicely. And you can also use this type of tool with silicone. So when you're fixing silicone seams, a tool like this is excellent for spreading the silicone on top of the seam. Tools with a silicone end are again really good if you're making a multiple part mold and you're building the wall. So with a tool like this, you can get really close to the object itself and make the wall touch the object completely. It's really good for that. And because the tool is from silicone, it's softer than metal. For example, if your object is made from oil-based clay, which never hardens, with this type of tool, you're less likely to damage your original sculpture. A tool like this is excellent for creating skin-like texture. So you're creating, for example, wrinkles with this. And it works both on clay and on silicone. So when you're doing silicone seaming and patching, you can go over it with a tool like this, creating more skin-like wrinkles. It's really good. These ball-like tools are good for obviously creating a symmetrical hole while you're sculpting. For me, it really is only on these kind of occasions if I need to create a hole that is a perfect circle. A sharp tool like this is also good if you want to create very small details. But personally, for me, for this kind of purpose, I like to use a knife like this. The tiniest knife you can possibly find is the best for creating details. This specific one is actually used by dentists. So it is very small, it breaks very easily, but if you're careful with it, you can create the tiniest of details with such precision with a tool like this. So if you're able to come across with a tool like this, keep it. So, as you can see, I only have a handful of tools that I actually use, and even this, definitely not on every single project. You can get really far with just one or two really good tools that you like to use. And like I said, it really depends on you and what feels good in your hand. So don't get caught up by having to have the perfect toolkit before you can start. You can do so much with just your hands as well. If you're curious about prop making and want to hear more about what it actually feels like to work in the industry and what can it actually take for you to be able to pursue a creative, unconventional career, you should follow my email list. That's a space where I share all my unfiltered experiences of what it has actually taken for me to be able to pursue this career. Join my email list. You can find the details below.